Sometimes, the chemistry between two actors becomes so convincing that fans can't help but ask one question. Is this really just acting, or is there something more happening behind the scenes? That is exactly why Yuxi and Deng Enxi continue to attract so much attention. Their interactions, subtle reactions, and seemingly effortless connection have left many fans wondering whether their chemistry is simply the result of great acting, or whether there is a deeper bond that makes everything feel so incredibly natural. So who exactly forced Yuxi to fall for Deng Enxi? Of course, there is no evidence that anyone literally forced Yuxi to develop romantic feelings for Deng Enxi. The phrase is simply a playful way for fans to describe how powerful their chemistry appears to be. Yet the more fans watch their interactions, the harder it becomes for them to ignore just how convincing the two look together. Yuxi is known for his ability to bring subtle emotions to his performances. A simple glance, a small smile, or a slight change in expression can completely transform the atmosphere of a scene. Deng Enxi, meanwhile, has a natural and expressive acting style that allows her characters to feel genuine and emotionally engaging. When those two styles come together, something interesting happens. Even ordinary scenes can suddenly feel much more emotional. What has captured fans' attention is not necessarily the obvious romantic moments. Instead, it is often the tiny details that seem to happen naturally between them. The way Yuxi reacts when Deng Enxi speaks, the way they look at each other, or the spontaneous smiles that appear during their interactions can become enough to send fans into a frenzy. For some viewers, those little moments feel even more convincing than a scripted romantic scene. Why? Because scripted romance is expected. The actors are supposed to portray attraction, affection, and emotional tension when the story requires it. But when fans notice a spontaneous laugh, an unexpected reaction, or a brief moment of awkwardness, they naturally begin wondering whether there is something beyond the script. That is where the speculation begins. However, it is important to separate on-screen chemistry from real-life relationships. Actors can develop incredibly strong chemistry without being romantically involved. Working closely together, rehearsing scenes, understanding each other's acting rhythms, and building professional trust can create a connection that looks remarkably intimate on screen. In other words, chemistry does not automatically equal romance. And until Yuxi or Deng Enxi personally confirms anything about their private relationship, there is no solid basis for claiming that the two are romantically involved. Still, that hasn't stopped fans from analyzing every little interaction. A smile lasting just a little longer can become a viral clip. A glance can be replayed in slow motion. A casual answer during an interview can suddenly become the subject of countless theories. That is the fascinating part of fandom culture. Once viewers become emotionally invested in a pair, even the smallest details can feel meaningful. And Yuxi and Deng Enxi seem to have exactly the kind of chemistry that encourages this kind of attention. Their dynamic feels effortless. Neither one needs to exaggerate their reactions for fans to notice them. Sometimes, a simple exchange is enough to create an entire discussion online. This is also why some fans jokingly say that Deng Yuxi was somehow forced to fall for Deng Enxi. Maybe the real culprit isn't another person at all. Maybe it is their chemistry. Their chemistry may simply be so strong that viewers naturally want to believe there is a deeper story behind it. The more comfortable two actors appear together, the more fans begin to wonder whether that comfort comes purely from professionalism or from genuine personal closeness. But without direct confirmation, those questions remain speculation. And perhaps that uncertainty is exactly what makes the pair so fascinating. There is no dramatic confession, no official confirmation, no definitive answer. Just two actors sharing scenes and creating moments that feel surprisingly believable. Sometimes, that is enough to capture an audience. For Deng Yuxi and Deng Enxi, their appeal may come from the fact that they don't need to force the chemistry. It simply seems to appear naturally whenever they share the screen. And when a fictional connection feels this convincing, fans will inevitably start asking whether there is something real behind it. But perhaps the best approach is to enjoy the chemistry without turning speculation into fact. After all, one of the most exciting things about entertainment is watching talented performers make fictional relationships feel real enough that audiences become emotionally invested. Whether Deng Yuxi and Deng Enxi are simply excellent acting partners or genuinely share a special connection remains unknown. For now, the mystery continues. But one thing is undeniable. Their chemistry has already made fans pay very close attention. So, who forced Deng Yuxi to fall for Deng Enxi? Maybe nobody did. Maybe the script did. Maybe their characters did. Or perhaps, in the eyes of fans, their chemistry simply became impossible to resist. What do you think? Are Deng Yuxi and Deng Enxi simply delivering incredible on-screen chemistry? Or is there something about their connection that feels a little too real?